Welcome back to my channel, people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever the case may be, wherever you're watching this rate and debate show from. Whether you're watching it live, if you're watching it live, you're all very welcome. Hit the like button on your way in. And if you're watching on the playback, you're still very welcome. You still hit the like button and you can still leave a comment to see how you feel about our match ratings. I tweeted I'm not in a very generous mood. Because I'm not feeling very well. And on top of that, I watched Liverpool Everton, Merseyside derby, 12:30 kickoff on a Saturday afternoon. But we get into the match ratings and debatings, and obviously I need someone. I don't know, someone usually more generous than me alongside me, and of course I've got Omar, who is far more lenient when it comes to match ratings. All right, Omz?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. It was not ideal.
There you go. There you go. Not too bad. See, there you go. Brilliant. Amazing. I told you, Omar's.
I'm already better than you.
Yeah, already better than me. There you go.
Yeah, I just to be fair, that game did piss me off. I won't lie. I needed something. My head. I woke up with a headache.
Yeah.
Needed something to.
Can we make clear that your headache and my headache, totally different reasons caused the headache? Can we make that clear in case people think like, why is Grizz like I've got a headache and a cough all night. You've been on the booze like since 8 p.m. last night.
I just.
But you're allowed to, because tell the people what's the good news.
Yeah, guys, I had my graduation yesterday, so thank you. So obviously I had to enjoy my day. So I woke up at midday, half an hour before kickoff. I was like, oh, no better way than to start the day with a Merseyside derby. And look, it was triggering. So I just switched off after that, and I didn't want to see any of the football. So here we are now with a calmer head. I think I might be more positive than you, Grizz, by the sounds of it. So, yeah, but my voice is broken as well.
Yeah, people's comments are coming in. Not very happy. Understandably, how can you expect anyone to be happy? People are saying congrats to you, of course. Yeah, congratulations from me as well. We've now congratulated you.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
I'll take it. I'll take two congrats.
There you go. People are coming in with the comments already. Super chat from Transfer Show. Grizz tactics are looking stinky. I'm not gonna lie. Some of those substitutions were mind-boggling. Obviously, we're gonna do an in-depth analysis of the game tomorrow, guys. RedFellas will be in the building. Our first sponsored show as well, by the way, which I'm looking forward to from our new sponsors. And obviously, we're gonna go through the game. Try to go through it with a bit of depth and analysis, and also maybe with a calmer head. 24 hours later, we may not. We may be fuming even more. Mark sends a super chat. He says, "I have serious questions for Klopp and Linders. We don't have any patterns. Give Trent ball 50 yards, pass, hopeful cross. What's going on in training?" Just silence, mate, because I don't know. Unless Omar has any insight, I don't know. I just think my simple analysis and opinion is, and I've said it for weeks, there's a lot of big players just out of form at the same time, and they need to pull their finger out. That's just a very simplistic way of looking at it from my point of view. Of course, on top of the injuries.
I think one of the commentators touched on it today. I think, one, we're in a phase where we have a lot of new connections going on with the likes of Diaz, Nunez, Salah being the front three, Elliott and Carvalho midfield with Fabinho. But that sharpness, that edge we have, like last season, we saw us in every game, especially the first half of the season, connect with our players. Like the players knew where to pass. They were barely missing passes. Now they're missing so many passes. Like I've never seen someone like Trent miss so many passes. Guys, just we look a bit shakier out of the press when normally it was so clean and smooth and slick. And Yeah, I completely agree. Just big players out of form, and I don't think it helps. I love Elliott and Carvalho, but then to me, every time I look at this, I just the comfort I feel when I see the likes of Thiago and Keita on the ball in midfield is a different level of comfort. It's not as erratic. You know, they can receive the ball under pressure. We have a few players in the squad like that. I'd say Firmino, Thiago, Keita, Elliott at times, but he's still a bit raw. It's very raw. It's not smooth. We're not that smooth oiled machine that we were last season, and it's gonna take it. I expect more because it's not something you can just fix. It takes time for something to happen, and we now need to just get into a rhythm. We need to take it one game at a time, and just try and build that momentum. We have to keep trying to just build and build because look, it's not looking good.
No, it's not looking good. I said it's not looking pretty. In my tweet, I said it's not pretty at the moment, and it's far from pretty. Jay says too many excuses, just isn't good enough. Klopp needs to sort this out fast. I mean, Jay, it's excuses, it's facts. I mean, I don't know what else we can do. Like, of course, they need to fix it fast. We can only speak on it. Like, excuses, it's not excuses, it's facts. We're not playing well. Like, what is there to say? There's not been enough. Okay, then you can start the narrative about there's not been enough investment in certain areas of the squad. Agreed. There's a lot of injuries. Fact. We don't look as a cohesive because of the injuries and the different personnel. Like Omar said, different partnerships. Fact. The players themselves are not playing well. They're not in form. Fact. It is what it is. We have to deal with it. We have to keep moving on. We don't just give up and say end the season now. Doesn't make any challenge. Doesn't make any sense. But listen, as I said, comment away. Let us know what you think about the ratings as we get into them. Mark sends in a super chat again. He says Klopp is moving mad. We had no control in that game. He bring on Firmino, who was good, but we still didn't fix control issue. Why not use Melo? I think it would have been wild to use Melo, Mark. We didn't have any control because we had an 18-year-old and a 19-year-old in central midfield.
Now, yeah, but still. It's
okay. It's wild. It is what it is. That's what we got until Thiago gets back to full fitness, until Henderson comes back, until Naby. I don't know about Naby, mate, if he's going to come back even before January, but it is what it is. And I don't mean that factually. I'm just saying, there's murmurings of Naby. But anyway, but yeah, man, look, I appreciate your concerns and frustrations, and I share them with you. But let's get into the ratings. Omz, let's bring out the old what's it called?
The old tier list.
The old tier list, son.
There we go.
I think for the first time in weeks, we can give Alisson above average rating.
He earned his money today. Wow. That save from McNeil. Did you have problems? The TV was stuttering.
Yeah.
It was really annoying because
it was out of sync, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's like, come on, man. Premier League production, like, sort it out. But I'll just go straight into it. I think I have him at an 8. I think 2 massive saves. The Morpay one just made himself big. Although I think Morpay, it was harder for him to miss that.
Yeah,
he had the whole goal. He decides to kick it aimlessly. I think you're a professional footballer. You're a professional striker. And you can't... I'm glad he didn't. But you can't compose yourself to slide it past the keeper. Like, you had a whole side of the goal to aim at. So
it was very much like the Sancho chance at Old Trafford the other day.
Yeah,
similar-ish.
Yeah.
First and foremost, we've got to congratulate Stefan, who became the latest YouTube member. Stefan now has priority in all the chats. His comment gets read out. He has priority in all the active shows. He gets an emoji. He gets a follow on all my socials, all our socials, and very soon, he gets entered into a Discord channel, a group that we're going to make for our members only. Big up yourself. People are coming in with the Suggestions: Alisson is an 8. Distribution was a bit sketchy. Some passes were kind of sloppy. Ali 9.5. William, channel member as well, says 7. We won't talk about that now. Yeah, great. 3 great saves. Which one was the third one?
I'm trying to think.
Which one was the third one? Bizarre, let us know.
Yeah, it was Morpay McNeil.
Yeah, I like the one from McNeil because of the way it took a deflection and he didn't commit too early and he was balanced. The Mopai one, I do like the way he stays calm and he doesn't commit to one side. It's very easy for a keeper to try to read. Oh, the Davis one.
Davis?
Yeah. No, that wasn't a save. That hit the post, right?
He hit the post, right? Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Unless there was another what? And there was a good one from, actually, to be fair, there was a good one from Gordon or was it Gordon or Davies in the first half, which flew through, it came out from a corner, it flew through, and he just did well to hold on to it. But I think there were the 2 standout saves in the second half.
Oh yeah. No, you're right. The one that Diaz pulled out of a challenge, kind of.
Yeah.
And Gordon, yeah. I mean, safe hands. We expect that. I'm happy to give him an 8 today.
Yeah.
Possibly 8.5, because I don't think his distribution was brilliant. He did sometimes just kick the ball out. But what did you say? 8?
8, yeah.
Guys, I think we're all okay with 8. What do you think? A quick rundown of the people in the chat. Let us know. We're both at the moment happy with 8. Yeah, I think 8's fine,
Yeah.
I think 8's fine. Right. Cool. Which way do you want to go?
I like going right to left, so from Trent.
Do you want to go first?
I think the thing is with Trent, he set the standard so high for himself that I thought defensively he was actually pretty okay. He mopped around the back. He wasn't asleep at the back post. But on the ball, it's just he's out of form on the ball.
Wow! Look at the ratings that are coming through.
No, I know. He is out of form on the ball. I think again it comes with the whole thing about we're just lacking those connections. I think there were a few balls like his trademark passes where he just fizzes it in from the right into the middle into the striker.
It's his best trait. There's no one better. There's no fullback better in world football. In fact, there's not many midfielders in world football that can, when on song, like Kevin De Bruyne does it from a central area. Modric does it from a central area. This guy does it from a fullback area. And you're right. The standards he set himself are fucking mental. And the moment he has a game like that, we all jump on his back. I agree with you. I don't think he was bad defensively. I don't think Gordon got the better of him many times. I think he was more focused defensively. But we expect him to do more than defend. That's the problem. That's the issue I think we're finding, right?
Yeah, it's just again that comes from the standards he's set. He is our right back. It's unnatural, but again he is probably our key creative source. I want to know, did he play the ball for Nunez's shot? The volley in the first half, or because whoever played that ball, that was a good ball, and it came from Trent's side. I don't actually know who played that, but if other than that, I do think it was a mistake taking him off. Because we'll get into James Milner, but
that was a weird one. Yeah,
was that planned? 60 minutes, take both fullbacks off,
So he did. Let me just read the super chat. Mark says, another thing with Klopp, this guy is putting our top goal scorer too wide to create and to give Nunez Firmino space at the new setup. Disgusting. Mark, make sure you tune in to RedFellas tomorrow. We're going to try to understand what's going on from a tactical point of view. In terms of this new setup, if it's a new setup. Yeah, look, I don't know what to say about. No, they were saying that's Gomez. That was a Joey G pass.
Yeah, I would have given him a 4. to be honest. I think it was very sloppy on the ball. I understand Merseyside derby, Everton, they're going to be in your faces. It's Goodison. It's a small, tight pitch. I understand that. But he has the quality to know how to get around that pitch, essentially. He has the quality to adapt his game, to adapt to the turf, everything, to weight his passes better. I feel like he was overhitting stuff a lot of the time, and that famous connection he has with Salah just wasn't there, and it was frustrating because it almost set the tempo for us coming from him, and maybe that's harsh, but he sort of sets the tempo sometimes with how we are on the ball when Thiago's not there.
100%. If this is true, though, it gives him a slight excuse. Like someone said, he had a calf issue. 1 more minute, and I get those FPL. Man's worried about his FPL. Big up, Kevin. We'll discuss that this week. I think everyone had a bit of a stinker in FPL.
Yeah, unless you had Ivan Toney.
Well, yeah, I literally thought about him last night. I don't know why I did it. I don't know why I did. I literally last minute change. I was going to take out Havertz. I know he scored, but I was going to take out Havertz, bring in Tony. But anyway, we digress. Trent, I think it was probably planned because the amount of minutes he's playing, and obviously,
yeah.
I don't know if it was planned. I don't know if it was because he's playing so crap. Don't know what to say. Trent, people, I was going to give him a 4. A lot of people are suggesting less than a 4, or some are saying 4. Let us know what you think. I'm going to give you a minute or so to let us know what you think about Trent's rating. I said 4. I think Omar.
I said 4 as well. Yeah,
you said 4 as well. Let us know what you guys think, because we didn't keep a clean sheet. We did keep a clean sheet, and I know he was only on it for 60 minutes, but we didn't really look like conceding. Zayn Miasi's in the building. My favorite Arsenal fan. Grizz, get ready for the masterpiece tomorrow. Only Arsenal can stop City winning the league. Listen, if Liverpool don't win it, Zayn, if Liverpool don't win it, I would love it if you guys won it. Absolutely love it. So there you go. Honestly, bro, I'm begging you, if we don't win it, and it doesn't look like we're ready to win it, then I pray to God that you guys win it. How's that, Zayn? You can't get more fair than me.
I want City to win it just because nobody cares. I don't have City friends. I don't have people I don't have people who support City. I don't have people who I have loads of people.
I hear that. I hear that. But just
all these guys.
Yeah, that's a very good point you make as well. People are saying 3 and 4, nothing above 4, nothing below 3. So I guess then in that case, the what to do is go for a 3.5.
Yep, let's go 3.5. You know what? At the start of the season, I never thought we'd be giving so many low ratings out. It's like what?
It's quite embarrassing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Guys, 200 reviews in here. We'd really love and appreciate roughly around 150 likes. I'm sure there's about 50 of you just viewing into hate and troll, which is fine as well. But even if you'd be so generous to like, that would be amazing as well. It would be funny, actually. So just hit a like while you're here, people. Let's try to get on with these ratings and see if we can get some sort of agreement. Yeah, Trent, 3.5. The less said, the better. We just hope our creative spark, who we look to, gets back into a bit of form. What are we saying?
Gomez was very good defensively, I thought. There was a moment where Everton were 2-on-1. It was a counter-attack again from a corner. It wasn't the Morpay chance. It was another one where I think it hit Joe Gomez and it went for a corner. But yeah, he was in a really tough position, and I think it was Gordon and Morpay running at him, and it was like Virgil van Dijk's 2v1 defending. Like, he just was in the right position, knew when to engage, knew when to back off. It was very good. I thought defensively he was very, very solid. he didn't really give Maupay a sniff. I think on the ball, there were a few overhit passes that annoyed me. A bit slack on the ball, but you couldn't fault his defensive performance. So for me, I'll give him a 5.5.
Mark reminds me. He says, "Man wants Arsenal to have same amount of PL titles as is in our Golden Globe era." Lol, Grizz, chill. All right, fair point. Fair point. You make a very good point, Mark.
This is why let City do it, because
we don't care.
It would trigger Man United fans because they'd be the first team since United to win 3 in a row, and it's expected. Like, I don't care. Call us a Farmers League all you want. Then, like, I don't care.
I'm a bit baffed at the ratings for Gomez. People are suggesting 5.5.
Actually, I'll give him a 6.
I'm in agreement with Bizarre. I think Gomez was the best player for me. One of the best players. I'll go on to who I thought was the best player on the pitch for me. Gomez was by far the better defender out of the 4. Well, one of them anyway. I'm baffed, guys. Why are you giving Gomez? Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. Cameron Clark says Gomez workmanlike and functional, did well. We have to admit we didn't get the goal. His passing was horrible, was it? It wasn't.
His passing was a bit slow. He did play the ball for Nunez, but there were moments where he'd like overhit it or it go like there was one where he tried to play a crossfield to Robertson and it went behind Robertson. There was a crossfield he tried to hit to Diaz that just flew into the stands. But I agree, defensively he was impeccable, and I think there is a real case for him now to really have a go at that England squad again because he's getting the games, and I'd love it because, like we've all said it, like a fit Joe Gomez is arguably one of, if not the best English centre back, and that's like I don't think a scary thing to say because I don't think English centre backs are that good at the moment. But I think for me, I give his defensive performance like a 7.5-ish, but on the ball, I give his performance like a 5.4-ish. And then the fact that we didn't win is just probably why I've gone for a 6.
It's mad. Look at the difference in opinions. It's like, some are saying Gomez gets an 8, and then people are saying, what games did you watch? Gomez was not good today at all. And I don't get it. It's like, some are saying he was the best player on the pitch. It's amazing. It's all opinions. Look, people, it's not. We all see the game differently through different lens. What was your final suggestion?
I went for a 6.
I was going to give him a 7. I'm not going to lie. Gomez was. I really think Gomez, there was a couple of times where they tried to outpace him. We still played that high line. They tried to keep putting that ball over the top. He had his pace covered. He was reading the game far better today. I take it his passing wasn't amazing, but then that's Joe Gomez. We're not expecting his passing to be totally immaculate. He's not a Matip. He's not a Trent. 7 for me. 6 is spot on. 6 or 7.
6.5.
So what? 6 is what? We said 6 is average, didn't we? So we said 6 was. I think he was above average. I don't think he was average. I think he stopped so many attacks. See that one chance here. I remember that one slack clearance where the ball fell to Maupay. I agree. That was that one mistake he made very early on. And yes, 100% that could have cost us. I get it. But then he picked himself up and had a very, very good game after that, I thought personally. I'm happy to give him 6.5 then if we're in limbo, 6 or 7.
Yeah. Yeah. In and around there. I do agree that he was one at the top end of our performers. But yeah, I think maybe it's the
we didn't lose, guys. We went to Everton, Merseyside derby. We had 2 kids playing in midfield, whole host of injuries. They were up for it. We didn't play well. Their goalkeeper was man of the match. He made 6-7 mad saves. 3 times we hit the crossbar. We can't just say everyone was crap. Do you know what I mean? Gomez was the best player for me, easily the best defender.
I think the performance. It's people from what I saw, the people were really annoyed with the performance. But then you look at that game, like in terms of like a balance of chances, and we still probably should have won. In terms of like the chance, we had like that mad moment where we should have scored like 3 goals in the space of a minute.
Wow, people are saying 5. How? Joe Gomez was not a 5 performance, guys. 6 is spot on, 7 for me. Do you know what I mean? People are... Avi's laughing at Gomez, 6.5. I don't know. Blue Chip, is that too low or too high? Gomez was 7.5. I agree, bro. I gave him a 7. But everyone's reminding me about the passes. His passing was awful. And that he made the nearly fatal error where they scored, which is a very good point. You have to take that into consideration. Paul Smith revises his rating. It was a 6.5. Duffer says 6. 5 is average. 6 for me. He made some wild passes. I think we'll stick with 6.5 then. This is pretty split the camp already, man. Virgil. I'll go with Virgil. I still don't see Virgil playing well. I still don't see Virgil demanding, commanding, dominating. I still don't see Virgil dictating to forwards, as opposed to where he used to dictate to forwards where they're going. Yeah. Now forwards are seeing a chance to expose him or go on him because of his non-committing of tackles and blocks. He was slightly better today in that aspect. I didn't really enjoy his performance. He did.
He made a couple good blocks.
I'm just going to read the super chat out from Mark. He says, we can say majority of the team was crap, irrespective of chances. I believe Everton performed their game plan much better than us and could have won.
You saw how happy Everton were at full time. They celebrated like a win.
Like, yeah. But that's fine. Fuck them. I can't give a shit about what. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
The people want to talk about the tackle. I don't know if you want to do that now or on RedFellas.
Not really now, but we can have you can give your opinion on it.
I think
you're here.
It looks bad. It looks very bad. I think if it was a bit higher, he would have been in a lot more trouble.
Yeah.
But if that was given as a red, I don't think VAR would have overturned it.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So I'd say it's an orange, right? It's in between a yellow and a red, and we got. I think maybe because it's a Merseyside derby, the referee thought, you know what, like, understand that it can get a bit spicier than normal, like just calm down. But yeah, it wasn't a nice challenge. I'd say it was an orange.
Yeah, I think some of the screenshots going round are not actually accurate because that wasn't point of impact. His point of impact was actually on his foot, not the shin or whatever. Yeah, it looks far worse than a frozen picture. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely, it does.
It's so many challenges look bad.
Yeah. Almost frozen, so he's back. He's back. You're back.
Sorry. Yeah. I was just saying this. If people always do this, like with challenges, like they're saying, like when we see challenges in pictures, they look so much worse than they are. Like, it's just like look at the actual tackle. Look at it in full speed. Don't look at it in slow mo, because slow mo is another way, which is what I hate about VAR, by the way. When they look at tackles, they don't look at it in full like game speed.
Full game speed, yeah.
So naturally, the slow mo will make it look worse. It'll make the impact look heavier. But yeah, for me, Van Dijk, very average. Yeah, I don't think he did anything wrong, but he wasn't
commanding. He did. Yeah, I know what you mean. Sorry. Super chat from Nakraj. Appreciate the support, my friend. He says, dreadful rate of squad turnover at Liverpool is wild. Welcome to American ownership with no Michael Edwards. See, the thing is, right, Natraj, I know what you mean, and it's frustrating, and it's hell of frustration tonight, especially with the start of the season and the points tally we've got. But we've bought 5-6 players in the last 2-3 windows. More. We've bought 4 in this window. We bought Diaz in the last window, and then who did we buy? Who did we buy last summer?
Khanage.
That's 6 players in the last 3 windows. I'm in total agreement if we speak about our midfield, and I've been speaking on it as much as I can, really. Like, what else can I say? But for the rest of the areas of the pitch, we just got to give them time to settle down now and get the injured players back. The midfield is the one area where I would totally agree with you, bro. There's not been enough turnover in midfield.
What I do want to say is people talking about, like, I wouldn't say it's a transition yet, but people saying like there's no transition at all. I think that's completely wrong. I think there is such a transition in this squad, right? Like, it's not just the players that have left. Like we've had 4 players leave. Like the likes of, like, you associate like that the last few years, like you associate the last few years with players like Origi, Minamino, Mane, who have all gone. Like, these players are associated with that sort of team, and even the likes of Henderson, Milner were more involved. Henderson and Milner in this phase are not going to get the well, hopefully when they won't get the game time when we have our like squad back together as they did before. So there is definitely a changing of the guard. Someone like Konate, Gomez featuring more. Tsimikas coming into the fray. The front 3 looks completely different. The style of play is completely different. So I never like to say a team's transitioning, because transition would seem that you're taking a year out to fix things. Essentially, you can't do that. We were 2 games away from winning a quadruple last season. So the standards aren't expected this season for us to just say, you know what, that's just the end of that. Let's go back to square one. We have to maintain some sort of standards and some sort of high level, which we're not doing at the moment. But there is definitely a changing of the guard, and we will see over time this season and the next seasons whether it will be more or less successful than the sort of...
Well, Avi makes a very good point. He says we can still be successful even through transitions, and this does feel like a small transition. And it absolutely does. People that are saying, no, it's not a transition, or people that are saying it's a full transition, there's somewhere in between, people. Calm the fuck down. You know, transition doesn't necessarily mean just a changing of the players. It doesn't necessarily mean that it could be a change of playing style. You know, so many factors come into a transition. You know, you have to take everything into consideration. But he's right. He says we can still be successful even through transition. Fergie did it brilliantly. We will find the formula. Just take time. And I kind of agree with him. Virgil, what did you say? Guys, there's over 250 of you lovely, amazing people in here.
Virgil a 6. I think it was average. He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't really do anything special. I think we forget, like, when we're judging defenders, especially in our team, we still have to consider what they do on the ball, because defenders more than anyone get on that ball, and like the likes of Van Dijk, Trent, Robertson, Matip, these guys have been so crucial to our team on the ball. So we have to take that into consideration. And I don't think his standards on the ball were up to scratch. Essentially, he played a great ball to Robertson, like in the very last minute, like round the corner, which sort of opened up the game. We used to see Van Dijk play balls like that all the time.
Yeah.
And now it feels just not as he doesn't cut through teams' lines. Like, It feels like he's just playing balls that don't really have any sort of purpose to them, which again is harsh, because, like, yeah, he's a centre back, but I feel like his level on the ball has dropped. But he didn't do anything wrong, right? I think
people type in your VVD rating. Omz is saying 6. I was thinking 5.5/6. Let's see if we can sway it to a 6 or a 5 or a 5.5. I'm happy to. I might be swayed by Omar. I agree. He played a couple of juicy passes. Straight away, 5.5, 5, 5, 6. I don't know if we're gonna have a clear winner here. Yeah, I just don't think he's I just don't think he's imposing himself. Do you know what I mean? Like, how dare you let Mopai have even a thoughts of getting a goal? Do you know what I mean? Some six. I think sixes are coming through now. So yeah,
I think maybe.
But I just thought Gomez was better. So
yeah,
that's what I'm thinking. So 6.5 better.
We're seeing a lot of. Should we go 5.5 because we're seeing a lot of 6s and 5s and then 5.5s. It's like all in that region essentially.
But then the reason I think you're saying that is because you may feel that we've given a low one to Gomez. Then why not just give Gomez a 7 and Virgil a 6? Or is that stretching it?
We were poor. It's the fact I think the game looked poor. It's hard because defenders aren't there to like get the goals, right?
Yeah, this is my point.
They're there to keep a clean. They kept a clean sheet.
They kept a clean sheet. Alisson made 2 saves, right? We've spoken about Trent and we're giving him a 3.5, which is fair.
I don't want to give Gomez a 7 because of what he did on the ball.
Okay.
I would. You know why? Maybe there's a reason why we're sort of looking a bit more exposed as well. It comes from the midfield not being as.
No, of course, yeah, absolutely. And so therefore, maybe slightly upmark our centre backs then, because they've got no protection from midfield. So all right, 6.
6.
Yeah, let's do version 6.
Do you want me to? Where is it?
What?
I was gonna think about moving Gomez, but
no.
I'll let you, Avi, Bilal discuss that on.
Well, he's got some different opinions and thoughts. Mark says there was no mention of transition prior to this form. A squad with players at their peak is in now a player in the peak is in transition. We're just bad. It's okay to admit it. I don't think we have many players in their peak, Mark. You won't hear that from me, mate. I've said it many, many times. I think we need more players in the age group of peaking, and that age group is always around 28. Our best players are past their peak. I said it for Sadio Mane. I've said it for Bobby Firmino. I've said Mohamed Salah will never reach those levels again. Virgil van Dijk won't reach those levels again. Fabinho won't reach those levels again, in my opinion. There's 4 or 5 people I've mentioned that are not in their peak. Henderson by far is in his peak. But when he won the title 3 years ago, he was. And this is my point. So it's unfair to say that. It's unfair to say that. What we doing then?
Tsimikas. Let's get
Tsimikas. Tsimikas for me was the best player. Tsimikas was bright. Tsimikas was alert. Tsimikas was tenacious. Tsimikas was good on the ball. The couple of moves with Diaz were far more encouraging. Probably the most interplay with Diaz I've seen this season. Robertson hasn't had that understanding. This is the way I saw it, people. You can kill me, you can grill me. This is what it's about. Rate and debate. I rated him today. I'm willing to give Tsimikas a 6.5. I'm just putting it out there straight away.
I don't know how to rate him. For me,
speak your heart. Speak your heart.
For me, when the first number that comes to my head is 5, right? Because
I'm not going to react.
I think his there was moments where he did defend well 1v1 with Gray, but there were a couple moments where he just let Gray sort of coast past him. I think he was tenacious. I love that about him in this game. He was tenacious. He was on the front foot. He was a bit clumsy at times, but that's fine. But just I didn't see enough. Maybe because he played only 60 minutes. But I didn't see enough to warrant him more than a 6. Really, maybe I'll give him a 5.5. He kept a clean sheet, but I think there were times where he sort of let Everton come in on us, and I think Everton actually in that first half, a lot of their chances came from that side. I felt maybe that's a Luis Diaz not helping problem. Maybe that's a Fabio Carvalho not helping problem. But for me, he's a 5. I thought it wasn't very impressive, but it wasn't like Trent.
So if we go according to the chat, people are saying, you know, his crossing should have been better. He's 6. So we could talk about the subs, you know, 6.5, 8, 7. Blue Chip says Tsimikas cannot get higher rating than Joe Gomez. Surely not. I mean, as I've said, I've given my thoughts on him. I don't want to keep repeating my thoughts.
For me, this comment. Oh, sorry.
Go on, I'll read this one out.
Oh, wait.
Go on, you can read that one out.
Yeah, each time he got into he did get into great crossing positions, but I agree, he put in a poor ball, even with so much time. I think there was one where he tried to fizz it across to Nunez. If he had a bit more composure about himself, Salah must be so frustrated right now.
Yeah,
he's getting himself in such good positions in the box
and not being picked out.
Not being picked out. I think there was one in the second half as well where it was literally twice. One in the first half where Salah sort of pulled away. I love it. He always does this. People normally get attracted to the ball and the goal. He sort of goes the opposite.
I was ready to go. And
it's there on the cutback almost.
I'm in agreement with realism. Jared says Tsimikas was our most creative player. Gave them problems. They didn't. If he was crossing, cutting back, or dribbling defensively, he was fine. I wouldn't give him an 8 because he didn't last the 90 minutes. So, but I definitely ain't giving him lower than Gomez, for example. People have given him higher mark than me. I'm happy to give him 6.5, but people are saying 7, 8, 6. No way 5.5. That was your suggestion. The only reason he doesn't get 7, in my opinion, the only reason he doesn't get 7 is he didn't last 60 minutes. And that was a weird call from Klopp as well. We're going to discuss that tomorrow.
I'm happy to go with yours because we're like I feel like the chatter.
Yeah, I mean, look, people are saying 7.5.
Maybe I missed out on something. But it's fine. Yeah, I'm happy to go with 6.5.
6.5.
Yeah.
Mark says, I have another question. Where the hell does Carvalho fit? He doesn't work if Klopp persists with 4-3-3 long term. Look, Carvalho is a long-term project, Mark. And our long-term project, we don't know what our formation is long-term project-wise. So it's just one of those, he's a kid. Let's just see how it goes with him. I genuinely see him as an option, as a more of an attacker for now. I know he was thrust into midfield today, but no one can give you for certain where he's going to end up right now. But I think we've got to be patient with him. This guy got a nasty dead leg. He wasn't in the game today. It wasn't his kind of game. It was a brave call. It didn't work. But going forward, it's just definitely give him time.
It's a shame that the thing that caused his injury was probably the first time we saw him in that sort of pocket.
Yep.
And in and around. That 1-2 he played with Fabinho, if he latched onto that, then like he could have done anything. He could have shot, he could have slipped Nunez or Diaz in down the side. But yeah, it's a shame. But he's too young for us to really know. But I just see him as I just see the Coutinho comparisons and like the sort of likeness to Coutinho, and it really excites me. So
yeah.
It'll take he's raw like Elliott, and the onus isn't on him. Like we've put a lot of pressure pretty much on him to hit the ground running, which we probably didn't expect to do. So yeah, he's for me in the last 3 or 4 games, he's rose to the stage, and there will be more to come.
Absolutely, guys, like the stream if you haven't. We're going to come up to start on the midfield now. What are you saying? Fabinho, shall we start with?
Yeah, Fabinho. This is a really hard game to rate because I thought in the second half he was better. What he did well, which we criticised him not doing enough, is that sort of Fernandinho, Rodri sort of like tackles, that fouls that are like intentional but subtle to like sort of break up play. He broke up play better while they were on the counter attack. There were still a couple moments where when he got the yellow, like he tried to. This is one of my frustrations with him. Sometimes he tries to tackle someone,
Mm-hmm.
and then he just doesn't tackle them. So like, or even like foul them. Like, so one, what he's doing doesn't work, and two, like the opposition team are like running at our defense straight away. I think it was very average. I don't actually remember much from his game. I think on the ball he was sort of a bit better in the second half, finding positions and angles. I will get onto him, but I thought Firmino really helped that with everything. But yeah, for me, I'll give him a 5.
I'm straight agreeing with you. There's no debate for this one. I'm going to give him a 5 as well. Chuck him in for a 5. Don't think he's close to his best still. Obviously, the Bournemouth game everyone's talking about. I'm not going to even consider the Bournemouth game. 5. I don't think he's sharp enough. I get the theories about he's not got a settled 2/8 alongside him. He's got to cover more ground. I get all of that. But I just think his passing is really slow and without pace, and that's not dependent on others around you. Mark kind of agrees with me. First time we've agreed today, Mark. He says Fab was bad. He let Onana get past him easy, which led to a rash challenge from VVD. Yeah, Fabinho's not sharp and not looking strong for me. He just looks like still in pre-season mode type thing, man. Fabinho, 5, man. You can't be dominated in every game, bro. Every midfielder is dominating our midfield. And I get the others, and we've discussed the other, but your reputation is one of the best DMs in world football. You can't be overrun in every midfield and get yellow cards for people getting away from you every single time. No, I'm not having it. I'm not blaming others for your own performance sometimes. Just like I'm not having it about Virgil. I've been harsh on Virgil, and we know Virgil's the greatest centre-back of our era. Fabinho, 5, man.
That was Fabinho's first booking of the season, which look great. He's not going to get suspended anytime soon, but you almost think for a player in that position, man, look at how many yellows Casemiro's picked up, Fernandinho. Like sometimes their job is to take that hit for the team to sort of have that grit about them and set that platform. Like in each line of play, there's someone that has to set the tempo. Normally, at the back, it's one of the centre backs. We have that in Van Dijk. In midfield, it is probably the 6th. I think Fabinho and Thiago collectively on form really set that tempo and that sort of still but then class on the ball. So yeah, I do feel a bit of sympathy with him. He's not in any sort of settled midfield. I think he misses his mate Thiago next to him, who comes a bit closer to him. But yeah, it's now time maybe for him to step up and show why he is individually so good instead of and sort of take on the young boys, Elliott, Carvalho under his wing.
Absolutely. Yeah. I agree with you. He has to step up and set examples for these guys and show them. And he's not at the moment. He's very quiet. He's very... I was going to even say he's not showing up. He's not showing himself. He's not taking responsibility, which is, whatever we say about Henderson, and he's not as good as Fabinho, at least he tries to show himself, tries to lead. Fabinho needs to be more of a leader, in my humble opinion.
See, in a game like this, Henderson would have been very useful.
Yeah, I know that.
He's someone that he'll get around that pitch. Even if it's for 60 minutes, he has to come off at 60 minutes. In that 60 minutes, he'll make it hard for Everton. I feel like it was too easy for them to cut through us, man. My boy Iwobi was playing.
Oh, shut up about your boy. Let's move it. Right, Fabinho, we agree with 5, so that's good. We didn't need to argue about that or debate about that.
Yeah.
Guys, nearly 300 of you, approaching 300 of you in here. Please smash, tap, hit, caress that like button. Elliott. I thought Elliott, again, tried his damn best. Again, another role for him in terms of almost being the senior other 8. I mean, this is insane. We're asking a kid in a Merseyside derby where they're trying to rough him up to almost play as a double pivot. When I say almost, like he was the one that was being asked to play deeper than Carvalho, right? So Elliott was trying to get the ball off the back 4, link up the play. I liked Elliott. I'm telling you now, Elliott was the only bright spark for me in terms of the front 6, whatever. Front 6, or however you want to call it, front 5. He tried. No one else was close to being sort of as proactive as him.
He played almost in a pivot with Fabinho in the second half.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. And like for someone who we had hopes of being one, like a winger, for him now to be playing in a pivot next to Fabinho, it says a lot about how he's evolved and the type of player he is. My one thing with Elliott I've noticed is he's actually not like, in terms of like running, he's actually not that quick. Like there were a few moments where Anthony Gordon, I think on counterattacks you could see it. Like he just literally couldn't keep up with Everton's counterattacks, which like it's not like the worst thing. Like Fabinho would still be in our box trying to keep up with a counterattack, you know. But yeah, I think it wasn't the game for him to shine. He didn't. I agree, the effort was amazing, but he didn't stamp his mark on the game as he has done in previous games. He wasn't like Bournemouth, Newcastle. The game was flowing through him. It wasn't flowing through him today.
But you can't expect that.
No,
he's played every single game. No, I get it. Okay, sorry, it's not criticism. You're just making an observation. Fair enough. And
go on.
I'm not having it in our WhatsApp. Like Avi's trying to diss him and say, "Oh, I'm going to speak on Elliott." I said, "You're disgraced then if you're just going to pick out Elliott out of all that 11 to have a go at. If you're going to pick out Elliott to have a go at out of all that 11, whoever does that, you're a disgrace." There you go.
Elliott has been for me, because I think it's a disgrace what Avi's like doing with Elliott. Like, why are you digging out? He's been our best player this season. Like, I understand the expectation is high.
But there is no expectation in this game. It's a Merseyside derby away from home. He's playing alongside fucking Carvalho, right? He's a kid as well. He's been asked to do something completely different that he's never done in his life. Almost play as a number 8. He's an attacking 8. He's been asked to play alongside. Make sure you cover up, help Fabinho in transitions. What do we want from the kid? There were far more senior players that were worse than him. Absolutely worse. I think he was okay. I'm giving him 6. People, just tap in your ratings for. Seem to be agreeing 5 or 6. 5 or 6. I'm saying 6.
Yeah, I would have him. I was going to give him like a 5.5, but I'm happy to go 6. That would put him on Van Dijk's level. I think we didn't see much from him in the second half. I think maybe because he was deeper.
Again, he had to play a different role in the second half. It's mad.
Yeah.
You're asking the kid to play in a Merseyside derby with different roles when the crowd's up against him, the atmosphere and everything. This is a kid. This is a child. Literally, he's playing every game for us because we've got no other options. Yet we're being critical of him in a non-defeat.
Think about how.
I mean, I can't see how you guys are giving him 4, 5, 3. Wow.
At the top level, think about how many games Elliott has actually played.
He's our only midfielder who's demanding the ball in every area of the pitch, not hiding.
Can I say something on that? I completely agree. The worst thing a footballer can do is like they have to, at the very least, show for that ball. They have to show. They cannot hide. That's the one thing in football that would piss off any manager, any fan in the world. If you hide from that ball, he does not hide, right? I know we criticize Henderson, like Henderson, right, on the ball hasn't been. It has, I think he's slowly regressing, right? But he's someone that demands and shows for the ball. Honestly, just the act of demanding, showing, wanting the ball, it helps a lot. Like it sets a sort of feeling in the team that you're in a confident team. You're in a team that wants to take on anyone. If you sort of sink in your shell, that's when it starts to get a bit. You cannot save your team from that. So
and he doesn't do that, and that is such a trait to have, especially as a young kid. You're spot on. You're absolutely spot on. I'm sorry, I'm ignoring all these 4s and 5 shots. They're just ridiculous for him. I think I'm not having it. Just not having it. 5.5 or 6. You said 5.5. Did you say?
Yeah.
I said 6. No way. I'm not having Elliott slander for no reason. Yeah, people are so reactionary now. It's mad, mate. It's true. It's absolutely mad.
Can I ask the chat, what do you want from Elliott? Like, the ones who are criticizing him, what do you want? Do you want him to be someone straight away now who gets in and is scoring 15, 20 goals a season, getting 10 or so assists? How do you want Elliott to be in the team? Like, what do you expect of him?
Mental. This is such a good point. There's a reason why likes of Pep protected guys like Foden. Unfortunately, Klopp has no other option. He's playing him in every single game. I'll put him at 6, so let's keep it moving because I just realised I've got the calling show in an hour. I need to eat as well.
Where's half? There we go. Cool.
Carvalho, wrong game to be selected, wrong position to be selected in this game. I know people are asking for it, but I didn't see it. I didn't envisage it. I didn't think it worked. He's just not ready to play in our midfield right now.
It wasn't the game for him.
No.
If this game was at home, maybe it was it'd be a different story. He'd get that space, but on a tight, hostile Goodison Park, making your first start for the club, yeah, it was always going to be a challenge. Fair enough. I think he is, even though maybe he didn't quite do that today, he is someone like Elliott who will show for the ball and want to take people on. We saw about Old Trafford when he came on, carried the team in the last 10 minutes of that game. So yeah, for me, I give him a 4.5 really.
Yeah, let's give him a 4, man. There's not much to say on him. Not much to blame on him. Today is just not his game. Today is not for him. And there's no point dissecting it because he's young. He's got an amazing career ahead of him. Look, Gersh says he started coming to the game but then got smashed. Would have been interesting if he didn't get injured. Maybe, because I do think he's got a good engine in him as well. So he would have got better. He would have got fitter. We start from Diaz on this side, I guess. Is that the midfield done? Luis Diaz.
Let's go Diaz.
Huff and puff. Hit the crossbar. Would have been an amazing goal. Difficult one.
Raw.
Still raw.
He's still too raw. Like, it's not smooth. It's not slick. It's not the Liverpool way in a way. There was that one time where Robertson overlapped and he just played it straight to the defender. Like, sharpen up. I think like there were moments. It was such an up and down game for him. There were moments where he was combining well. I think he combined. I did think he combined well with Tsimikas. To be honest, but it's just that sort of composure we need from him now in and around the box. That decisiveness that will get him. It will get him 20, 25 goals a season because he can do it. He just needs to have that sort of ruthless edge to him. That coldness, which I don't feel he has, because that strike, man, that was so pure. Like, it's so up and down for me. I give him. I don't know. I'd give him a 5, maybe. Yeah, 5.
Yeah. it's fine margins, isn't it? If he smashes that goal in a little bit of like a couple of inches to the left, and that goes in off the post, and we're talking about a match-winning goal.
But then there was that moment. We had a couple counter attacks. People, if you remember, in the first half, where he was in on that left hand side and he tried to just hoof the ball out to Salah, like compose yourself and play like the player you are. Play like the guy who led Porto to a great season last season in the first half of the season. So
this is a good point. Works the hardest in our team, almost running too much because he's knackered when he gets it. Maybe that's a system issue, which we will discuss tomorrow. I want to give him a 5.5. I don't think he was remotely as bad as Fabinho. I don't think he was as good as Elliott. 5.5/6. I don't know.
I'm happy at 5.5.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give him a 6 personally.
Okay, cool.
I would be happy with 5.5.
Cool. Mark says his decision making is so bad. He either dilly-dallies on the ball or pass it too late. I can't disagree at the moment. His output is just not good enough at the moment. It will come. 100% it will come. But we just got to be patient. Mohamed Salah.
See, there were two moments in here where he could have won the game for us, which was that Trivela pass to Firmino, the outside the boot one, which was Steve McManaman was like, I don't think he meant it. If you know Mo Salah, you know he meant that pass.
Stupid man.
And then the shot was going in bottom corner. It just got stopped by play. One of the biggest wind-up merchants in world football, but two, Jordan Pickford had a very good game today, and credit to him, I guess, because he was man of the match for a reason. We had a lot of chances if you look back at that game. So it's this whole thing. Is he too wide? I know you'll get into it tomorrow at RedFellas, but I'll quickly touch on it. It's not that he's not cutting in enough on the angle. He's not finding the channel between the centre back and the fullback. He's getting it too wide, and he's being asked constantly to take on 2-3 players at a time. There was he started a bit more. Firmino, and we'll get onto it. But for me, Firmino was like our best player. But I'll get onto it. Firmino was the reason why Salah started to get more 1v1 situations with Mykolenko. But for me,
it's a tough one to give a rating to, though, isn't it, Mohamed Salah? Because he woke up in the last 5-10 minutes, it seemed, and realised that
he didn't have a sniff. For me, I'll give him a.
Same as Diaz.
Yeah. I'll give him a 5. To be honest, if you look at the whole game, he was quiet. At least Diaz huffed and puffed, as you say.
But then the chances he's created and then forced Pickford into a save in the last 5 minutes. It's a difficult one, isn't it? Guys, what do you think? Very quickly, guys. Same as Diaz? Higher than Diaz? Nah, lower than Diaz, they're saying. All right, 5. Same as Diaz is fair. Nah, he's a talisman. 5. He needs to be better than Diaz. He wasn't. So
he's
5.
Mohamed Salah, guys.
Yeah.
We have to remember that he's top 2, top 3 player in the league. So we
need to do more.
Yeah.
Darwin Nunez. I'll start with Darwin Nunez.
Yeah, go for it.
Darwin Nunez showed glimpses again, that Torres strike that he done. Couple of headers he could have done better with, especially the one at the far post, like very similar to the Mitrovic chance. But it's getting there. He hasn't played. He's going to be rusty. It's going to come good. I'm not going to be too harsh on him yet. Again, there's no supply. He doesn't know where the ball's going to come from. Trent didn't supply him with so many overhit passes from Trent and the crosses from the other side. I'm going to give him 5.5.
Yeah, he is a presence. There were a couple. The good thing he does have is in the air. he's very good. There was the Fabinho chance where Fabinho hit it straight at Pickford. Like, the composure on Nunez in that situation. I know people talk about a lack of composure, but the fact that in that moment he saw Fabinho and was able to lay it off with his head, like, I really enjoyed, because that's what you want from him. You don't just want someone that can score. There was a flick on to Diaz, which was really nice. There was a strike, which I really enjoyed. Again, we'll get into it. When we get into the Klopp rating, but I think no matter how bad he and Trent may have been, I still think it was maybe a wrong decision doing that, taking them off. So, yeah.
Was he better than Salah? More impact, more presence, right? More involved than Salah, maybe, or difficult to say.
You see, I'm trying to think about what he did, apart from like those few moments. Did he get the service? No, and he is someone that relies on service. He's not someone that, like Firmino, who picks it up in spaces and then sorts of looks to provide. So, I'm gonna say 5, the same as Salah.
Okay, let's go for it.
All right, should we get through the bench?
Let's get through the bench. Matic came on, didn't do anything wrong. Absolutely fine. 5.
Yeah, there was that one pass at the end, though, where I don't know what he was doing, where he just fizzed it past everyone. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, but I like Matic. Bobby?
For me, when he came on, in that spell before, like the 45th minute to the 60th minute, or like up to the point where we were like creating chances, he was the reason for that. He was getting in such great position. For me, he was our best player, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's so unlucky not to score, right? The header straight at the keeper, you can be critical. Maybe he should be hitting the sides, but whatever. Forced a great save out of Pickford, out pretty much nothing. Had another one from the Salah pass, which was going bottom corner. For me, he's what we missed. We needed when we have, and it might force us to go 4-2-3-1. We might have with Nunez up front. You don't have someone occupying that space in behind. That maybe that's what Carvalho was meant to do, right? But Firmino did it. The fact that Klopp brought Firmino on for Carvalho suggests that he wanted a player to
play like that
and get that. And his connections, he was just his little 1-2s in and around. For me, he was our best player. So for me, I'd have him at an 8 with Alisson. Don't know about you.
Mo, I'll give my prediction rating. Sorry, Bassett says Mo misses Mane's runs plus he occupied 3-4 players. I'm giving Bobby a 7 or 7.5. What do you think?
I'm happy to go 7.5.
Let's go. I think you're right. I think Carvalho can look back at that game in that second half if he gets a video and a clip of it and see what role possibly Klopp wants him to play, which is a fair shout. I think Bobby was unlucky not to start, especially the form he's been in. And he came on and made Pickford make some saves. He got the shots on target, which we often say Bobby doesn't. Makes the keeper work. So I'm happy with 7.5 for him. Go for that. Look, let's just keep it moving. James Milner, what shouldn't have been brought on at right back. Helter Skelter, I get it. He was slightly better in midfield, but at right back he was a total disaster. 3, 2.5.
For probably the most experienced player in the Premier League right now, like coming on in a Merseyside derby away from home, you'd expect that experience to show a bit, but I'm not going to lie, he looked like a deer in the headlights.
2. Again, I don't want to be too harsh and critical on him. He's the oldest man in the squad. He shouldn't be fucking playing every week.
Wait.
He shouldn't be playing a week. Sorry, no, I was on mute. Sorry.
Okay.
He shouldn't be coming on every week. or playing every week. He should be having a couple of minutes here and there, not trying to change a game at 0-0 from fullback. Bad call, bad substitution, bad everything. 2.
Yeah.
Robertson, I don't think had much impact. A little bit better than Milner, I'd say.
He put in a great corner for the Firmino header, to be fair.
Yeah.
And he drove a bit, but yeah, I'd have him at a 4. Just
really.
What did you have?
3.5, 4, 3.5, 4. Yeah, I wouldn't argue with 4.
I think he showed a bit of grit, I guess. He got up and down, but
4.
Yeah.
I like Jota's little cameo. I mean, I know he can look clumsy and all of that business, but he just looks like he's got that. I don't know, man. He looks like a threat. He looks like he's going to be there somewhere. He's got this knack of being around. He's technically not going to be great. He's not going to look pleasing to the eye. Aesthetically, he's not going to be there. Yeah, I get that. He was up against Gordon, but, Jota did give me a bit more. If a chance falls, Jota's going to put it away. I just don't know. I get that feeling with him.
You know what is with Jota? Jota, when I saw Jota come on, I had all those feelings we had from last season going, you know what? This guy, you actually gave me a lot of good moments last season. I think that's so underrated. The amount of times he scored important goals, first goals, just he gave me. I looked at him and I had a bit of nostalgia, thinking, you know what, we used to be good. So he had a header. To be fair, he had one header, which he's not match sharp. He came back to training on Thursday. I'm surprised he was in the squad. I still think he's got a lot of catching up to do because he missed preseason. So yeah, we'll see. But what did you give him?
I gave him. I don't know. I haven't given him yet. I haven't thought. I'm going to give him 5 or 6. What did you give him?
I was going to give him a 5. So I guess he
5.5,
didn't do much. 5.5, right?
Yeah. Just a threat. Just looked.
Yeah.
Threatening, I guess.
He occupied the box.
Yeah. Look, I'm feeling better with him around now. I feel a little bit. We might score some goals now with Nunez and him now. Do you know what I mean? But you don't look like scoring goals without. I know he scored 9, but as I said, put that out of the system. He just looks like a threat. Jurgen Klopp, I don't think had a very good game. So I think selection-wise, I know he was brave, and some people loved the bravery. He was very brave in his selection. I don't think it worked. The fact that he had to change it at 58 minutes, 59 minutes. Substitutions were awful. I know he corrected the substitutions, which slightly gives him not a disastrous mark, but I'd give him a 4.
Yeah, I think as a manager, your main role when a game starts, apart from like the halftime team talk, when the game's actually going on, the most important and main thing for you to do is to make substitutions that impact the game. And I thought the substitutions, the fullbacks one on 60 minutes was pretty horrible, mainly because of Milner. So yeah, I'd give him a 3.5-ish.
No, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that then. I'm happy to mark him lower. You're right. The only reason I gave him 4 was he realised that he's fucked up with Milner, and then he put him back.
Yeah. No, that is true.
That's the only thing I'll say.
It was annoying.
I know that's not saying much, but
when I saw that starting 11, I was so excited. I was like, "Damn, this is brave!" Like you wouldn't expect it. Mm-hmm. Like I was expecting Milner to start. Was expecting Firmino to start. I know Firmino looked very good, but like when you saw Nunez, Carvalho, Elliott, you were like, "Wow!" Like yeah, like we could like be in for something fun here. But his subs weren't good, and Milner right back. I don't want to he just got targeted, and I think that says a lot about Trent as well. Like Trent is actually, guys. I know we slander his defending, but like Gordon didn't want any of it because Trent's actually decent at defending. Yeah, he has a mistake in him, but he's actually a good defender. When you stick someone else there, you can see the difference it makes. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy with 3.5. I mean, I like his bravery, so therefore he doesn't get a 3 or 2. It just didn't work, which is not his fault, really, I guess, because they didn't perform. But the substitutions were awful. Yeah, 3.5, man. But yeah, guys, that wraps it up. I know not everyone agrees with ratings. That's the whole point of debating the ratings. Rate and debate, you get it. But I'd like to think that we pretty much got that spot on today, I think, Omz. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I'm happy with that. I think like if I was to award a man of the match, it'd probably be Firmino. So I know we have Alisson higher, but I think maybe because Firmino only got 45 minutes, it's harsh. Like it wasn't really an 8. Like an 8 had to be like impactful on the game. I think the only one that we didn't lose that game because of Alisson's saves. So
and look, we have to take into consideration we didn't lose. You know, we get a draw, we get a point. Excuse me. And we go on. We can't stop. We have to go on. We hope for better performance. Guys, thank you. Like if you haven't. Subscribe, share, all that good stuff. I'm about to have a coughing fit now, so I'm going to call it quits. This has been the Rate and Debate Show. We out of here. Take care.